We were a group of three, two girls and one boy, and we had been very close friends for more than 5 years. We knew all of each other's flaws, bad habits, and mistakes, no matter what. I was going through a rough period mentally. I felt like I was losing touch with reality. I would often just brush things off or not think about the consequences of what I did. Likewise, if something bad happened to me, I would remain indifferent. So, empathy was kind of a foreign concept to me, to be honest. I was kind of numb. Still, I never did anything seriously wrong to anyone. Now, about my friends, I'll call them Aishi and Allie, not their real names. Aishi and Allie would often talk in our WhatsApp group, but usually late at night. They knew I always went to sleep early. I'd read the messages in the morning, sometimes just skim through them, but if something important caught my eye, I'd go back and look carefully. Most of the time, they'd have had fun chatting or sometimes had emotional talks at night, which I rarely responded to because I had already read them in the morning. They would usually end those talks on good terms and feel better about themselves. I thought it was pointless to go back and answer old messages or give advice on topics that were already closed. Usually I just wrote something related to the last message or sometimes just sent a seen receipt. Because of that, they said I was ghosting them. As I said, I couldn't really empathize, but since they said it bothered them, I tried to respond to their chats as much as I could. However, after that, I started feeling distant from Ali and Aishi. I had felt this way before, but this time I named the feeling and it got stronger. It felt like I was the third wheel. I don't know. One day while I was asleep, Ali and Aishi talked in the group. Aishi was unsure about sending a friend request to her ex-boyfriend. I'll call him Burak. Ali and Burak were also friends, and we all went to the same middle school. But I wasn't very close to Burak. Maybe we met once or twice together at most. Aishi wasn't interested in Burak. She just wondered how he was doing. She asked in the group if it was okay to send the request. Ali said there was no problem, it was normal. So Aishi sent the request. Later, Burak asked Ali why, but Ali pretended not to know. Burak accepted the request and messaged Aishi, saying he missed her. When I woke up and saw the messages, I said, "Why would you send a friend request to an ex?" We have a long history, and when I did something wrong, I often got worse reactions. So cursing and rough talk was normal for us. But Ali took it very personally. I told Ali that sending a request to an ex or a crush gives hope, and everyone knows that. He then insulted me, saying things like, "What would someone like you know about relationships?" Referencing my toxic past relationship, he knew I still had feelings for that person. While Ali and I were arguing in the group, Aishi tried to change the subject. Honestly, I didn't really see it as an argument, just a normal conversation. During this, I called Ali and Aishi idiots. After that, Aishi also got upset and started arguing. The argument went on so long that Aishi said, "I wish you wouldn't hurt people like you said you wouldn't." I asked who I had hurt. She mentioned a guy I had flirted with for a couple of weeks, but eventually didn't have feelings for. I said flirting is normal, you talk to the person you like, and if feelings grow, you continue. If not, you stop. I thought that was ridiculous. I told them I wouldn't insult anymore since they were hurt by it. Like I said, they were hung up on words like meal and kafana estuum, but it was just a joke. I also asked them not to insult me either, no matter what happened. But the argument kept going like I hadn't said anything. Aishi started calling me names like Araz and Kut. I didn't care much about those words, but it pissed me off that they both ganged up on me over such a simple and silly issue. My understanding of friendship is, I tell you when you're wrong, but if someone outside the group messes with you, I stand up for you no matter what. In the end, I told them not to contact me unless they sincerely apologized and admitted their mistakes. I left the group. Afterward, I talked to both of them privately, but it was the same issue. We haven't talked since. They texted me on my birthday saying, "We wish things weren't like this." And I replied something like, "I guess it had to happen. I'm glad I knew both of you. We had good times." And that was it. Also, I want to say that when I was friends with them, I often felt like a burden around them and other friends. That feeling disappeared after I cut ties with them, and now I feel better around other friends. I started thinking they might have tried to put me down on purpose and treated me like a loser in that group. I don't know if that's right or wrong. Do you think I'm the problem because I used slang and insulted them?